Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Tuesday, June the 19th. Been on the water every day for the last 7 days. Was out on Taneycomo this morning, hence the trout seat behind me and Taneycomo over my other shoulder. Trout's okay. Caught a few. It wasn't as great as it has been. They got a little limited stocking program going down here, which has kind of hurt the bite, but hopefully it'll get adjusted out and be back to normal, back to catching them on every cast like we normally do. But been on Table Rock quite a bit and catching fish. Some days are a little bit tougher than others, but we have been catching fish even though the water's already, in the mid to upper 80s. But as far as our lake level is concerned, we're at 916.99, which basically is 917, which is normal summer pool. So we're right at pool, so nothing really big going on there. The Corps is still draining beaver down. They've almost got it to normal. They have been running water pretty much every night. They're not running any water in the daytime. They're running most of the water at night. So most of the current's going to be at night. So I assume the night fishing is probably pretty good. As far as our water temperature is concerned, like I said, 85, 86, 87. Was up to James the other day, saw 88 and 89. So it is warming up and definitely got some warm water. It's a lot like fishing in August and September. Definitely have a summer, even a late summer pattern going right now. So are catching fish. Bite's not bad, just got to work at it a little bit. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, best bite I've got going down there on the lower end would definitely be on a drop shot rig. Catching a lot of fish on a drop shot, mostly on gravel points, a few of them on gravel saddles, a few of them on the ends of islands, but mostly on gravel points, a few over top of trees, but really it's a gravel point bite more than anything else, anywhere from about 25 to 35 feet deep, using the shad shaped worm, using the cut tail worm, use UV drop shot worm, and using the chompers drop shot worm. Catching quite a few fish drop shotting right now. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's mostly spots, but you do catch some smaller ones, and then you'll get into a school of some better ones. But we are catching a lot of fish on a drop shot right now. Kind of a weird deal going on. We are catching them on a swim bait again. Yesterday I was in the Kimberling City area and we caught quite a few on a swim bait, and we've been catching them down by the dam on a swim bait too. Basically throwing either the Bass Pro Shop Speed Shad or the Kitech 2.8 Fat Impact. Moved up to a 3/8 ounce head, so it'll sink a little bit faster and get down a little deeper. Most of those fish are between 15 and 20 feet deep on those same gravel points. A few of them over trees, but most of them are on those same gravel points. Throw it out, count it down, and just reel it in at a medium speed. We'll be catching fish doing that. Top water bite is still there, but it's really hit or miss. One day you'll catch them real good on a top water, the next day not so much. So you got to kind of look for those top water fish. If you see them busting, have a top water handy, but it's not been as reliable of a pattern as it has been the last few weeks. But we are still catching them on a spook, on a Sammy, on a Yozuri popper, so have those baits handy. And then we're catching them on a spoon too. Those same areas we're catching those deep fish on the drop shot, we have been putting a few in the boat on a spoon, on both the Jewel Scuba spoon and the Dixie Jet spoon. Basically dropping the Jewel Scuba spoon straight down and working it as a jigging spoon right in front of the fish. Dixie Jet, we're throwing it out, letting it sink a little bit, letting it sink down to about 10 or 12 feet and reeling it in and killing it, reeling it and killing it. But we are catching fish on both of those spoons. Go up into Kimberling City where I was yesterday, and same bites are going on. The topwater bite's a little bit better than it is down at the dam, but still I wouldn't bank on a good topwater bite. If you get in the right spot, the right time, the shad move up, you can catch them on a spook, a Sammy, a Yozuri popper. All those are working, but you got to be in the right place, right time. So keep your eyes open, keep a topwater on your deck, but don't rely on it as a pattern. Drop shot bite's been really strong up there too, catching a lot of fish on those gravel runouts. A few more in the trees in Kimberling. I think it's because the water's a little bit warmer, but we are catching a few more relating to trees up on the Kimberling City area. Still shad shaped worm, cut tail worm, the UV drop shot worm, and the chompers drop shot worm. All those are working over those trees. Most on gravel though, 24 to 35 feet deep. Some are out a little bit deeper on that gravel. Some will be over 40 to 50 feet, but they'll be suspended right at about 30 to 35 feet deep. So if you're not seeing the fish up there shallow, back out a little bit and you'll probably find some fish out there a little bit deeper, 40, 50 feet deep, but they'll be suspended right around the thermocline at about 30 feet deep. Have been catching them on a swim bait up there as well. Either the Bass Pro Speed Shad and 3-inch or the Kitech 2.8 swing impact fat. Again, I'm putting it on that 3/8 ounce head. Something's a little bit heavier so it sinks a little faster, and I can get it down and keep it down a little bit deeper, because most of the bites are coming in that 10, 15, 20 foot range on gravel or over tops of trees. And then a spoon, just like down at the dam area. We're catching them on the Jewel Scuba spoon, fishing it vertically. And then we're catching them on the Dixie Jet, casting it, letting it sink, ripping it and killing it. Catching a lot of fish doing that. Those fish seem to be more relating to trees and even some bluff end type stuff. Seems like there's some fish starting to show up on some of the bluff ends and some of those bluff pockets, and catching a few of them on a Dixie Jet doing that too. Go up into the James where I was yesterday. Topwater bite's still pretty good in the James, but again, it's not super consistent. It's not like it was 2-3 weeks ago where you could go out and count on catching fish on a topwater first thing in the morning. You'll catch a few fish, but you're not catching the keepers and the numbers of fish that we were catching 2-3 weeks ago. We're catching them on a spook, catching them on a pop arc, catching them on a some guys are catching them on a whopper plopper. Haven't really thrown it much. I guess we've thrown the small whopper plopper a little bit. We are catching some on a whopper plopper. Had a guy catch 2 keeper smallmouth on a whopper plopper on Saturday, and that was one of the better topwater days. But you know, it's not like that every day. But have it handy, have it ready, because you will catch some fish on the topwater this time of year. Doing pretty good with the spoon up there too, both the Jewel Scuba spoon and the Dixie Jet spoon. Catching them on both, same sort of deal. If you want to fish it vertically, fish the Scuba spoon. Most of those fish are on gravel points, gravel islands, kind of the run out points, dropping that thing down. Most of the fish are 25 to 35. We have caught a few out a little bit deeper, but it's just like in the Kimberling City area where those fish that are over deeper water aren't necessarily that deep. They'll be 35 feet or 30 feet deep over 40s. And then a Jewel football jig, catching quite a few on a Jewel football jig as well. Probably the best bite with a jig right now is on the James. Throwing the 1/2 ounce or the 5/8 ounce football jig. Brown and purple's been my best color, but we have been catching some on peanut butter and jelly and some on Okeechobee blue, matched up with a J-tail. Look for those fish to be out there about 18 to 25, even 30 feet deep on those long gravel run out main lake, and secondary points in the bigger creeks seems to be where we're catching most of those fish on a football jig. But definitely have a football jig tied on if you're going to go up the James. I have talked to some guys that are catching them on a big crankbait up there. Personally haven't done it, but if I were to guess, I'd say they're probably throwing it on some of the ledgier stuff up around Cape Fair, the typical deep crankbait, you know, 6XD, DD22, those sort of things. That's probably where they're catching them, is on those ledgy type banks up around there. I haven't been up there, so haven't thrown it up there, so I can't tell you exactly what to do with that. But I know guys are catching them on a deep crankbait up there as well. Go up into the White River, and the White River is pretty good. We had a pretty good day up the White River last Thursday and caught a lot of fish up there. Topwater bite was strong first thing in the morning. Caught a lot of fish on the topwater right off the bat. Spook, Sammy, Yozeri popper, all those were working. Just happened to hit the right place at the right time. Shad had moved up, fish had moved up on them. They were on a really flat point and basically had them to ourselves. We caught several fish doing that. Switched up to a swim bait, throwing the Bass Pro Speed Shad in 3-inch or the Kitech Fat Impact in 2.8, again on that 3/8 ounce head. Throwing it out and just swimming it over the gravel out a little bit deeper, about 15 to 20 feet deep. Once that topwater bite slowed down, we started catching them on a swim bait too. And then we switched up to a drop shot and a spoon and did really well with a drop shot rig. Seems like most of the fish we caught on a drop shot rig were out there over trees up the White. Not exactly sure why we caught more over trees than over gravel. We caught some on gravel too, but most of them were over top of trees. Overall depth about 50 feet, and the trees were topping out around 30, and that's where we were catching with a drop shot with either a shad shape, cut tail, UV drop shot worm, or Chomper's drop shot worm. Same deal with the spoon. Caught quite a few on a spoon. Had a nice mixed bag on the spoon too. Caught some big white bass up there, but Jewel Scuba spoon was working when we were fishing it vertically. If we wanted to cast it, we'd throw the Dixie Jet, count it down to about 10 or 15 feet, and burn it and kill it. Caught quite a lot of fish doing that too. Up there, up the White, there's a good bite up the White on a spoon, and there's a decent bite on a football jig too. Don't think that if you're not going up the James, you're not going to catch them on a football jig. Especially you get above shell knob and above, Seems like the football jig bite's a little bit stronger up there. Again, either half or 5/8 ounce dual football jig, brown, purple, peanut butter jelly, and the Okeechobee blue, all matched up with a green pumpkin J-tail has been my best thing to throw up that way as far as a football jig is concerned. And caught quite a few fish doing it last week too when we were up there later in the week on a football jig. Anywhere on those gravel runouts, anywhere from about 18 to 25. I don't think we caught any as deep as 30, but about 18 to 25 is where we caught most of them on a football jig. Guys, it is the middle of June and it feels like the middle of August. It's been 90 degrees every stinking day. That guy needs a muffler. But it's been 90 degrees every stinking day, and we're still catching fish. We're still catching fish. They've set up real good in a deep pattern. Like I said, catching some on a football jig, catching a few still on a topwater. I think that bite, it's really a day-to-day thing. If you get the right day, you're going to catch them on a topwater. If you don't get the right day, you're not going to catch them. But really catching quite a few fish right now. But guys, if you're thinking about coming down, maybe you got a family vacation planned, you want to get out, sneak out and get a little fishing in for a morning trip, great idea, give me a call. I got guys that over the weekend, the guys I took out Saturday, they just basically got a lake house and wanted to learn how to catch them in the summertime. Went out, we caught them, had a good time. Got that going on, give me a call. Don't think we got a lot of derbies coming up, so you probably not have a derby coming up, but if you did, you wanted to go out and catch them, heck, if you just want to go fishing and have fun, give me a call. We'll go out, we'll catch some fish, we'll have a good time. If you want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But we'll get hooked up, go out, we'll have a good time, catch some fish. Guys, thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, take a minute and subscribe. I really appreciate that. But thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.